Good morning. Welcome to all our viewers. I am delighted to welcome Klara Goldy, who is our UK country chair for Authentic Harmony and Positive Masculinity. Klara, it's a delight to have you here today and to talk about your ideas about whole life harmony. Now, I'm really intrigued about this, so I'm going to ask you to welcome yourself with the first question. What is your main purpose for being part of this wing?
Oh,
Share.
well, thank you so much, Pauline, first of all, for leading such an amazing movement. I think it's been well received by all our global chairs, and it's exciting to talk across the countries around the globe. So I think my real purpose within the Authentic Harmony Wing is to really help establish how we reimagine our lives, our spaces, our systems by really honoring the full human experience. I believe that really true harmony begins when we align our inner blueprint with the environments that we create. So whether that's within home, within leadership, and across society. And specifically in the UK, I would say my mission is to bridge the feminine and masculine through the design of cultures that nourish, and I think this is the key part for me, that really nourish emotional intelligence, creativity, and visionary leadership. And that's so that both men and women can actually thrive, not in competition, but in deep collaboration. So I think that would be the main thing. And I think we don't need more strategy. We actually we need systems that honor the soul as well. And we need that whole life harmony integrated. So I think that's my key thing. Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, that is fantastic. So share with us what your approach does. Can you illustrate it with an example?
Yeah, so I think really where I'm coming from is that whole life harmony really is, how should we say, it's the emotional aspect of our lives that often gets overlooked, particularly in business. And I think it's really important to include it. So we live in a world, I think, at the moment that values output, it values speed. And I actually think that we actually put the output sometimes over our emotional, if you can say, how can I say it? Let me just think what I'm trying to say here. Yeah, so we put that output over our emotional wisdom, and I think very often what happens is, and I've talked a lot about this since I've been in this role now for a good number of years, and I've talked to a lot of women, and I think a lot of women feel that culturally we've learned to suppress ourselves, we've learned to diminish that part of ourselves. We're told, the creativity, the intuition, in order to fit into that very masculine society. And there's a fantastic quote, I don't know if you've seen it going around, that is it Taylor Swift has just said, and she's basically said for centuries, we've been expected to absorb male behavior. And when we respond to bad behavior, we're made out that we're the ones that are, somehow angry or unhinged, etc., etc. So I think with me, I think through my work, I'm saying let's give women the permission to really embody those aspects of themselves, so that they lead with clear, courageous, magnetic leadership. And this doesn't diminish men at all. In fact, if anything, I know in my own role, it encourages and invites men to lead with greater empathy and presence, as opposed to, that aspect that it is all about power means control. We're taught that from early age, from classrooms to boardrooms, that really that power means control and emotion is weakness. And I'm saying no,
Yes.
our emotional intelligence is absolutely vital. And how we process our emotions at any given moment is super valuable. So I think that's where I'm really coming from. I think the silent absorption has become physical and emotional and generational. And I actually think that what women are doing now, it's not rage, they're actually, it's a reclamation that's happening. And I'm saying, it's time to rethink how we do work. Why does it have to be the same way? We need to reimagine it. And I think that's, for me, that's the exciting part of having a role like this, because we get to talk about it and we get to challenge the status quo at the moment. So yeah, I
Absolutely. And I know that you gather men and women together.
yeah.
Is there any particular illustration, a particular uh, client who you've taken
Oh,
through your approach?
yeah,
Uh,
actually there's been a few along the way. And I find that the women that come to me are very, very brilliant. I had one woman who came to me. She was highly gifted. She was really burnt out, and she'd led teams really, but hidden her deeper, more intuitive gifts. And she was trying to fit herself into a corporate environment dominated really by rigid structures. And instead of feeling like she could speak out about it, she began shrinking herself to fit the mold. And then, of course, then what happens is then you start questioning yourself. And as a result, she almost like, and I hear it with so many women, they almost want to just leave the industry. They don't want to be involved with it anymore. And I think that's a real shame, because we're losing extremely vital talent that,
yes.
we need to incorporate those aspects. So through my work, what we did was we really worked with, I guess, what I call regulating the nervous system, and really honoring that part of, because women are different, our physiology is different, but actually men, they learn a lot from this. And I think one of the biggest things that I see again and again is that emotionality is not feminine. It's not necessarily masculine. It's actually being human.
Yes,
And I think that we've missed a trick by not understanding how to process our emotions, as a real aid to helping us in leadership roles. And I
I
think,
yes, I agree. And I've often said, if we didn't have emotions, we'd be dead. So everybody has emotions.
yeah, but I think
So
men have taught that emotions are weak, they're silly. But actually, when you honor your emotion, it actually leads into your spiritual and emotional
yes,
intelligence. And through that lens, of course, is vital information that is coming through. So when we stop honoring complete productivity and just driving through and making, I mean, sort of some of the masculine structures come across about being about control and dominance. And I think it misses the heartbeat of women and bringing their gifts of nourishing environments and, deeper empathy and listening skills. So I think when we embrace the both, men can learn a lot from women. So I think,
absolutely. So
hmm.
tell me, as we finish our interview, because it's harmony, what one thing would you like to happen if you had a magic wand? Just one simple piece of wisdom you would leave our viewers with.
I would ask for men to slow down, listen more deeply, first to us, all of us, first to ourselves and then to each other. I would say women to trust their softness more. They don't have to compete in that masculine arena. They can actually show up with their softness. And men to know that they actually have the strength to hold, not just lead. Um, for me, harmony is not about perfection. It's really about right relationship. And that's right relationship with your emotions, with your feelings, and also with those that you lead and work with. So I think when we trust those inner instincts, then we actually nourish ourselves more, but we're able to hear others more as well. We hear what's needed in the moment, whether you're leading a team or
Yes.
yourself.
So basically, let's trust in our emotions. And as
Yeah.
we come together, we'll find that harmony. Thank you, Klara. That's been amazing. And our our magic is to spread this
Yeah.
across the world. So let's go out and do that. Thank you for being here
Oh, it's
today.
been an absolute pleasure. And I know that since doing this, I've been having so many magical conversations with men and women. So I think it's ripe and ready for people wanting to learn a different approach.
Absolutely. So for a joint custody world, we need whole life harmony. And thank you, Klara Goldy. Thank you for
Oh,
leading the
pleasure.
UK.
Absolute delight.
And thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.